video is going to be my April book haul. I have quite a few books to show you. I didn't actually think I was going to purchase any books this month, but shockingly I have. We've got a couple that Darren picked out for me, a couple that were on pre-order, and then a couple that I picked up from Costco. So let's just dive right in. The first two books were ones that I pre-ordered. I pre-ordered it initially on Amazon a couple months ago, and then I decided to delete my pre-order and purchase the book from a different seller in the States that was giving away signed copies. But somehow we managed to still end up getting our Amazon order, and so now I have two of A Love Letter Life by Jeremy and Audrey Roloff. If you don't know who they are sort of ex-TV stars. He was on Little People Big World, and they now have a lot of different entrepreneurships. If you've heard me talk about their shop Always More and the Beating 50% movement. So yes, I have two copies, and one of them is a signed copy, which is very exciting. So I didn't think I was actually going to get any of these until May, but they came in a lot sooner than I thought, so I was very pleased with that. I have read both of these, so they will be in my wrap-up video, and also I've done a separate video as like a dedicated book review on this book, so look out for that if you're interested in knowing more about this book. I then have two books that Darren picked out for me. He went on Amazon to purchase just some, household things, and decided to surprise me with buying me these two. So the first one is Don't You Forget About Me by Mary McFarlane, I think is how you say her name. I think he literally got it because the people on the front look like us, and there's a dog. But it says, it began with 4 words, I love your laugh, but that was 12 years ago. It really began the day Georgina was fired from the worst restaurant in Sheffield, thanks to TripAdvisor, and found the worst boyfriend in the world, thanks to Georgina's best friends. In bed with someone else. So when her new boss, Lucas McCarthy, turns out to be the boy who wrote those words to her all that time ago, it feels like the start of something. The only problem, he doesn't seem to remember Georgina at all. So definitely not something I would usually go for. I'm not usually one for romance. I will still read it and let you know what I think of it. Darren has picked out some books for me before, and surprisingly I enjoyed some of his like curveballs. I will try and link that video down below if I remember, to the video where I show you what books he got and the review as well. So yes, that will be coming up soonish, I will say. And then the other book that I've actually already read is Now You See Her by Heidi Perks. This is much more up my alley, that thriller, mystery, suspense element. So I'll read you the back of the book. It says, she was your responsibility and now she's missing. Charlotte is looking after her best friend Harriet's daughter the day she disappears. She swears she only took her eyes off her for a second. Devastated, Harriet can't bring herself to see Charlotte. No one could expect her to trust her friend again. Only now she needs to, because 2 weeks later, Harriet and Charlotte are both being questioned by the police and secrets are about to surface. So this immediately got me gripped, and there's a lot of turns in it. I really enjoyed reading this. I enjoyed reading like the different characters, and like I said, this will be in my wrap-up video, so head on over there if you want to hear more in depth about that book. And then we ended up going to Costco this month. We purchased a Costco membership. I could get it through work, so that was pretty exciting. And we've like fallen in love to the Costco thing and like all the lovely foods. But also I was excited to check out the book section, and I ended up walking away with 4 new books. And some of them had been on my like to be read list, and like some of these are very like recent, like they have new copies of things coming out. And it will also be interesting to see when we next go if they have A Love Letter Life, because I know that they are putting it in Costco's in the States, so it will be interesting to see if they have that in ours, because I've not actually seen it in person in a store yet. But anyway, so I got 4 books, so I'm going to show you those. The first one I got was the one I've already semi-read, or semi-read, and this is The Secret Barrister, Stories of the Law and How It's Broken. This was maybe like £4, and I believe it's a fairly recent book. I won't go into it too much as to my opinions. Head over to my wrap up, but I will read you the back of the book. It says, "You may not wish to think about it, but one day you or someone you love will almost certainly appear in a criminal courtroom. You might be a juror, a victim, a witness, or perhaps through no fault of your own, a defendant. Whatever your role, you'd expect a fair trial. I'm a barrister. I work in the criminal justice system, and every day I see how fairness is not granted. Too often the system fails those it's meant to protect. The innocent are wronged and the guilty allowed to walk free. I want to share some stories from my daily life to show you how the system is broken, who broke it, and why we should start caring before it's too late." So it's from this mysterious writer, The Secret Barrister, and he's still working in practice, and I guess it's about his day-to-day findings and explaining more about the justice system and how a courtroom is set up, really. So head over to my wrap-up if you want to see what I thought of that. The next book is The Cutout Girl by Bart Van Ez, and it says a story of war and family, lost and found, and this won a Costa Book of the Year prize. I was following the Costa Book Prize winners quite hotly, shall we say. I read the 7 Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle, which was the best a book winner from Costa, and this is another one. I believe the author of this has some connection to the story he's telling, but it's not his personal story. I'll read you the back of the book. It says, "Little Leon wasn't taken from her Jewish parents in The Hague. She was given away in the hope that she might be saved. Hidden and raised by a foster family in the provinces during the Nazi occupation, she survived the war only to find that her real parents had not. Much later, she fell out with her foster family and Bart Van Ez, the grandson of Leon's foster parents. Bart Van Ez, the grandson of Leon's foster parents, knew he needed to find out why. His account of tracing Leon and telling her story is a searing exploration of 2 lives and 2 families. It is a story about love and misunderstanding, and about the war that's most painful experiences, so crucial in defining us, can also be redefined." So, it's about this girl called Little Leon, and she is taken in by a foster family during the war, and we come to present day, and the foster parents' grandson, Bart, who is the author of this book, wants to sort of go back, find out why those disputes happened, and find out more about her story and what she went through. And this was $4.99, which is a bargain because this is normally $9.99, so definitely going to be looking out at Costco for more books. And then I have 2 more. These are hardbacks, so they're a little bit more pricey, but still very reasonable, and both of these have been on my to be read list. This is The Binding by Bridget Collins. Lovely looking book. This was $6.99, can you believe? And it says, "Imagine you could erase your grief. Imagine you could forget your pain. Imagine you could hide a secret forever. Emmett Farmer is working in the fields when a letter arrives summoning him to begin an apprenticeship. He will work for a bookbinder, a vocation that arouses fear, suspicion and prejudice, but one neither he nor his parents can afford to refuse. He will learn to handcraft beautiful volumes, and within each he will catch something unique and extraordinary, a memory. If there's something you want to forget, he can help. If there's something you need to erase, he can assist. Your past will be stored safely in a book, and you will never remember your secret, however terrible. In a vault under his mentor's workshop, row upon row of books and memories are meticulously stored and recorded. Then one day, Emmett makes an astonishing discovery. One of them has his name on it. The Binding is an unforgivable magical novel, a boundary-defying love story and unique literary event." So, not crazy sure of what it's all about, but it's obviously about books, making books, and these books hold a magical element to them. So, different from what I'd usually read, but I think it'll be a very interesting one, no doubt. And then the other book I got, which was also $6.99, is The Boy Who Followed His Father into Auschwitz. Again, this was on my to be read shelf, and it starts off in Vienna in the 1930s. So it says, the Kleinman family live a simple, ordinary life. Gustav works as a furniture upholsterer while Tini keeps their modest apartment. Their greatest joy is their children, Fritz, Edith, Herta and Kurt. But after the Nazis annex Austria, the Kleinmans' world rapidly shifts before their eyes. Neighbours turn on them, the business is seized. The threat to the family becomes ever greater. Gustav and Fritz are among the first to be taken. Nazi police send the pair to Buchenwald in Germany, the beginning of an unimaginable ordeal. Over the months of suffering that follow, there is one constant that keeps them alive, the love between father and son. Then they discover that Gustav will be transferred to Auschwitz, a certain death sentence, and Fritz is faced with a choice: let his father die alone or join him. Based on meticulous archival research and Gustav's secret diary, this book tells a Kleinman story for the first time, a story of love and courage in the face of unparalleled horrors. The boy who followed his father into Auschwitz is a reminder of the worst and the best of humanity, of the strength of family ties and the human spirit. So it's written by Jeremy John Drainfield, but it's obviously a real account of this father and son and their experience with going to war, to the Holocaust, and going to Auschwitz together. So again, a very interesting book that I no doubt am interested in reading. So those are all the books that I bought this month. Hopefully, or in April, hopefully this month I will be buying none. I don't need any more books, as we've established the past couple of months, and I am on a real reading kick at the moment. I'm about to film my wrap up, and I've read like 5 books this month. So yes, stay tuned for that, and I will see you in my next video. Bye guys.